And to some of y'all who are the realists, this woman looks extremely familiar. You may be like, who is this? This is the lady who had her mother commit fraud allegedly against her for a bill. And you would know that if you subscribe to both of my channels. But anywho, so in these next few videos, she's giving us some more insight into the fraud that her mother committed against her.
No apologies, but committing fraud is not odd. Taking my name, my livelihood, my financial status, and using them as you please, damaging them to the fullest extent that you could, is not odd. But me sending my mom to jail for fraud is odd.
She's responding to the comment above that says, not gonna lie, that's what NGL stands for with, all these Gen Z terms. But anyway, not gonna lie, putting Dukes in jail is odd. Who is Dukes, y'all? For those of y'all who don't know what Dukes mean, that means your mom. Ma Dukes, Dukes. Very Southern literature here. Then they didn't even spell odd right, but okay, maybe they meant OD. And I just gotta ask y'all, do you think that is odd? Do you think it's taking it too far to put your parent in jail if they've committed fraud in your name? Now, just to give you guys a little backstory, her mother called her and asked for her social security number. Somehow, someway, her mother got the social security number, used it for a utility bill, ran it up to $2,000, didn't pay it, ended up on her credit report. She ended up trying to go get a home or something, or like a townhouse, and then that's when she noticed the negative inquiry was reflected on her credit report, and they ended up telling her, hey, we can file charges against your mother, but you gotta do a police report. So she did the police report against her mother. Then her mother ended up getting a warrant. Personally, I don't think she did anything wrong. I think she's the victim here, but a lot of people would say otherwise. And it's because it was done by her mother. They're feeling like you shouldn't do anything like that. You shouldn't go to the authorities on your parent, even if they commit fraud against you. Like, who would have known that's how people felt? But hey, and what's crazier about this whole story is her mom not only did this once, she did it twice.
Are you drunk? Have you been smoking the marijuana? I'm sorry. I don't know where this idea comes from that I'm not allowed to put a person in jail who committed a crime against me and my livelihood. I also don't know where this idea comes from that I can't put my mother in jail for committing a fraud, a crime, a felony, if I do say so myself. So does the law. For playing with my livelihood. I could have lost a house. I could have lost a car. I could have lost my financial status. But the only thing that you find odd is that I put my mom in jail. As there is a level of respect that everybody should have for their parent, there's also a level of respect that everybody should have for their child.
I agree.
That crossed a boundary. She's going to handle the consequences for that crossing the boundary, period. Mother or no mother. You didn't ask. I didn't know. You caused me financial grief. You're going to jail. Thank you.
I just never thought I'd see the day that people would rally up together to advocate and defend scammers and criminals online. I don't know what's going on. Is it the economy? I know everybody's struggling for money right now. I know a lot of people are like, hey, I'm broke. I ain't got it. But where do we draw the line, people? Scamming your daughter, so it's supposed to make it better because it's her child? She wasn't given permission and caused financial strain to her child. A lot of people are like, that's your mom, that's blood. And I'm all for honoring thy parents, don't get me wrong, but I feel like you still gotta be real careful about some of the stuff you allow people to do to you. Just like I'm not perfect, the next person isn't perfect, neither are our parents. But we also gotta remember that doesn't mean you can just go around committing crimes against your own children because we aren't perfect people. You should be held to a higher standard as a parent. You should want what's best for your children, which is what makes this whole thing so crazy because she had negative impacts on her daughter. She was trying to get a townhouse and realized that, hey, my credit score ain't looking right. What's up? And the whole time it was her mother running up delinquent charges. What are we defending here? Being a parent doesn't all of a sudden give you this immunity ring that you can go around doing harm to your kids just because you're their parents. Like, are people okay? Like, I'm really confused. Like, let me get to these comments. And the first comment says, you gave her the opportunity to pay the debt too, and she refused. And that's true. She gave her a chance to pay her. She said no. So who was supposed to pay it, y'all? Then she says, like your credit was still impacted, but you were still willing to just have her pay her debts. The next comment says, people defending her is wild. They must be the type of parents to financially their children. And I don't know if that's the case, but that's what it's seeming like. Are people okay with it just because they might be the type of parents to do that stuff, like birds of a feather flock together type of a thing? And it's like, oh, well, I don't see nothing wrong with it because I'm the parent. Like, ooh, you might be one of them. You might be one of them ones too. You know, whenever you get in a bind, you'll be like, hey, I got my child social, oh, I brought them into the world. They should be thanking me type of parent, And I love this one right here. It says, it's called boundaries. A lot don't understand, and that's their issue. And exactly. Your children have boundaries too, especially if you have adult children. Now, you could strong arm them kids when they was in kindergarten. You can't do that when they're adults. And guess what? I'm going to tell some of y'all something that y'all may not know. Some of the parents that do this type of stuff and think it's okay. Your children have something called rights. They have rights and they can sue you. When you do things like that, send you to jail. Did you know they could do that? Call the cops on you for doing things against them that you don't have the authority to do. By law. I know a lot of them are going to be like, that's my child. I should be able to do whatever I want to do. Some of your children are telling you right now, if you tried them, as soon as they turn 18, it was up. Y'all know what it is. And I actually don't want to see that happen because I think families should try their best to stick together. Hate to see families split up over nonsense, over something so stupid like money. But let me tell you, a lot of the kids, when they turn 18, they're not going to play these sort of games with you. And you might think because you raise them, you're going to be able to get over on them and scam them and put things in their name and they're not going to hold you accountable for it. They will. And the fact of the matter is their social security number is theirs. It's not for you to use because you might not have the best credit. Instead, maybe just try to work on improving your credit score. And then a lot of your kids have kids. You're going to mess it up for the grandkids because you wanted to just do some stupid stuff like put some utilities in your child's name and not pay it back. Then your child is up here trying to be a grown adult, trying to come up in the world. They got to deal with the headache that you created financially. That's just crazy. We got to do better, y'all. We really do. So now she's responding to a comment that says you sent her essentially to jail for $2,000. She took care of 6 kids. I don't know. Relevancy? I don't know. Anyway, she took care of 6 children, probably by herself, and went to jail thanks to her child, side-eye emoji, and not for a word, for money. No. She went to jail because the law of the land had to hold her accountable for committing fraud against her child. Hello? I'm taken back by this comment, and it ain't even my story. Let me see what she got to say.
See, this is why if you close your lips, you seem more intelligent. How dare you assume something without even watching the entire video? I know you didn't because you made this comment. I'm glad you don't have children because you probably would have ruined their future too. God bless them. My mama has been married since elementary school. I was raised by my grandma.
And this makes it worse because a lot of people in the first comment section of the first video that's on the other channel, they were saying like, oh, she probably was doing the best she could as a mother, blah, blah. And I understand people go through things. But from the way that the daughter outlined it in the first couple of videos, it kind of sounded like the mother was admitting that she wasn't the best mother.
This was my mama's reply to what they were saying. She said, I'm not mad at her. And y'all shouldn't be mad at her either because I hadn't been there for her in her life when she was younger, and her doing this was just completely out of anger.
I'd have been like, no, I did it because it was you or me. Like, hello? And she did fraud to the same daughter that she was claiming that she wasn't the best mother to. That doesn't even make sense. I don't know.
Yep. See, had I been talking about a stranger committing fraud, it would have been a different perspective. But since I've sent my own mom to jail for fraud, for fraud, you all up in your booty hole about. I sent my mom to jail. You darn toot, buddy. I sent her to jail. You committed fraud in my name without my permission. Jail!
She didn't put her mom in jail. Her mom put herself in jail for allegedly committing fraud against her daughter. Point blank, period. And just think about yourself. If somebody committed fraud against you and it was a stranger, are you going to be like, oh, no, I don't want to press charges. I don't want to do anything to get this removed off of my credit history. You don't even know them. So you be like, yeah, do what you need to do, court system. Do what you need to do, criminal justice system. Lock them under the jail. How dare they try to get over on me? But people had a different type of energy because it was the mom who did it. And I kind of feel like it's worse because you as the parent, I think, know who you can play with as far as all of the children that you have. Or you may think you do at least, but clearly she wasn't the one. And I want want to know, for the people who are saying, oh, you sent your mom to jail because she committed fraud against you, obviously they don't think the mom sent herself to jail. But I just want to know, what is the solution? I know y'all are watching this video, the ones that would do it. What is the solution to this problem? Instead of sending her mom to jail and getting the police report filed and going through the court system, what would y'all want the daughter to do, since she should just not send her mom to jail? That was an after effect of filing the police report, which had to be filed if she was going to counteract the delinquent and fraudulent charges that her mother made. So if her mother wasn't going to pay it, do y'all think that she should have paid it? Do y'all expect her to take a hit to her credit and just leave it on there and then possibly hinder herself from getting cars, vehicles, houses, a stove, an oven, a purse, whatever? Because what is the answer if you don't have the $2,000 to pay back the fraudulent charges that your mother made on your account? And by the way, there was an additional $1,500. I'm genuinely confused on what they wanted this lady to do. This whole situation is very sad. And it's very sad to see people going so hard to defend something so wrong. And if y'all come in my comments with that craziness, I'm going to tell you, if you want to fight, join the military. Better yet, if you're going to go hard for somebody because they're a mother who's scamming their daughter and committing fraud, why not just say, don't commit fraud? Better yet, don't commit fraud against your children. They didn't ask to be here. Don't take advantage of them. But I digress. Comment down below, what are your thoughts on this craziness? Because this is a lot. But we got to start making better decisions today in order to have a better future.